Hello everyone, welcome back to Archangel RC. Yes, I will be boring you with yet another AR Wing Pro video today. I know some of you may be getting tired of seeing videos on this plane, but for some reason I want to sort it out before moving on. So there may be a few videos on it still. Following the previous flight, which was sort of ruined by the settings on my DragonLink system, first thing I did was to move over the DragonLink receiver's power wires over to the servo rail where it would get all the power it needs to run that telemetry link. Second order of business was to fix the 4S3P lithium battery pack. To that end, I removed the wrapping and luckily only one cell of the 3 in parallel seemed to have been damaged by the crash, so I removed it from the pack. A bit later, I took some measurements and confirmed that the other 2 cells were not dropping in voltage, so they were fine, while the damaged one was well on its way out as its voltage kept dropping. Luckily, a friend of mine had some 35E cells left over from his battery pack and we did buy the cells together, so it was from the same batch as mine, and this is probably the best option in this case. I verified the cell is in good shape and has the same capacity as the others and welded it in the pack, wrapped it back up, and it was ready to go. And so, eager to test the battery and also the DragonLink receiver, I thought I'd try yet another new location, yet another ski resort, and last but not least, the tallest peak in my country. Yes, all of that resides there, and it's a mere 40 minutes from my house, so a lot more manageable for a weekend flying location than the previous one. I found a great spot atop of a hill not too far from my goal and set up my stuff. Luckily, it was yet another perfect day for flying. Sun was out, almost no wind, especially considering I was on top of a hill and it wasn't even that cold. I had to replace the stock prop now since it broke during the last landing, so sadly I will not be able to compare between it and the APC prop, but I did install the said APC 8x6E pusher prop, and I did not forget to change the ESC's wiring because this prop needs to spin in the other direction. I also did balance the plane about 1 cm back from the center of the factory CG markings, and just look at that. A perfect takeoff, no rolling to one side, just awesome. So I headed out towards the peak and was again planning to actually do proximity flying at distance, so the goal was to get closer to the ski tracks and just follow those up the mountain. I had to gain roughly 2 kilometers of altitude from the takeoff point to be at the peaks above sea level altitude, so wasn't in that big of a hurry to go up. Good news is the RSSI stayed super stable this time, no issues at all. However, sadly, this attempt didn't go without a problem, but this time it was the video system acting up. For some reason, my antenna tracker started losing the GPS data packets at a mere 6 or 7 kilometers out, which was super weird, and I never did figure out why it happened. This video transmitter, along with its antenna and the whole tracker, receiver and ground antenna setup, have been to 18 kilometers on the duck, with a darn good image and no data loss. I've been to 32 kilometers with these antennas and an AKK video transmitter, which is negligibly more powerful than the tank solo, so this was definitely a surprise and an annoying one. I thought it may be some setting on the tracker related to image brightness sensitivity, but sadly it wasn't it. I came back and tried again, but this time I also got some weird interference that was coming and going and started even closer. I certainly hope this is not an issue with something in the area there, because the location is awesome and has great potential, but I also can't find anything wrong with my system, so I'm at a loss as to what caused the issue this time. At least I got to do some proximity flying over the trees on the neighboring hills, so this flight wasn't a complete loss. Perhaps next I should go back to a location I know is free of interference and test there as a reference, see how the system performs, and go from there about figuring this thing out. A friend of mine did mention that there were some radar type of things on top of that very peak there in the area, so it is quite possible that these might be affecting things, which would really be a bummer. As for the DragonLink, I did go into the settings following this flight, and I did have the receiver telemetry set to auto, but now have changed it to 10 milliwatts because I only need to connect it to my computer on the ground for some setup. Don't really need to have a telemetry link while in the air. I am not doing auto missions with this one. I will, however, upgrade the 433 MHz system to the new beta firmware on the Flying Dragon, and we'll go into more detail about that in its own video too, so stay tuned for that as well. Finally, as a follow-up to that perfect takeoff, the plane surprised me pleasantly with a perfect landing. No jumping, no crashing, no rolling, no bashing, just flared perfectly, slid on the ground and came to a rest in some short grass. It was by far the best landing this one has had so far. Now, if you have found this video useful, please like, share and subscribe if you haven't already, and also consider commenting or in any other way engaging with it, as it helps it get seen more and helps my channel grow. Using any of the affiliate links in the description below to purchase anything from those websites will help support this channel and my family at no additional cost to you. Another way you can support me is Patreon, the link is also there, and I would like to express my eternal gratitude to all the people who have supported me so far in any way and would continue to do so. I wish you all successful FPV flights, and I will see you in the next video.